Good afternoon. See if I can get turned around here a little bit better. All right. I've gotten a lot done today. I've had a pretty good day. My hearing is still screwed up. Please pray for me on the hearing, getting it back. I hear there's other people around the country that have been losing their hearing. So we don't know if there's been some sort of an attack or what it is. The other thing is my symptoms have been kind of weird. And I'm working on it. What I want to tell you about was about East meeting West. And the famous poet used to say, East and West, and never the twain shall meet. The old British Tennyson, Alfred Lord Tennyson, the East and the West, neither the twain shall meet. I think we're seeing the East and the West meet today, and it ain't a healthy in some ways, other ways it is. For instance, it appears to me as though the Orient, the secret societies that have their roots in the Orient, which basically means the Middle East, Asia Minor, they have undue influence over the rest of the world today. And we're catching hold of that. And things are getting out of control. And you would think that they would give up control, would be able to take it, would be able to get better institutions going. But the fact is that we are screwing up. We're letting these people go. Now, I'm all for forgiving somebody that's made a mistake. If they don't know about it and they come to awareness of it and they make amends, they make everything right. But when it comes to human life, it's kind of hard to make it right. And they are doubling down. They're getting ready to go through some more lockdown, lockstep stuff. It's just horrible. And those dumbasses out there who tried to shame the rest of us into compliance with that dumb shit that was going on, those people really bother me. I got family who won't talk to me anymore. That's okay. The dumbasses. You want to be a dumbass? Then fine. Go be a dumbass. Don't bother your uncle. Do not bother your uncle. Because I will tell you straight up what the hell's going on. You don't want to hear it anyway. You're too dumb to realize it if I tell you it anyway. But we do need to set some examples here. We need to take out the trash. And what I mean by that is all these elite people who worship Malthusian concepts, who want to genocide the rest of us, it's time that we give them their own medicine. It's time that we give them what they wanted to give us. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not saying, we're going to be Christians and turn the other cheek. Oh, hell no. The Yahweh, Creator Father God, demands justice. In this case, their very lives will be a good start. It's not really good. It's not really a finish, but it's something anyway, so we can stop them from doing it again. But all of these bankers, all of these politicians on both sides, both parties, the rhinos and the hippos, the swamp creatures, the Democrats, the Democrats, all of those people need to be taken out. They're all trash. They devalued the rest of us. My God, have they taken advantage of the simple folks in this country. They have devalued our lives, and they have really made things run roughshod over the rest of us. And they've been taking all the gravy for themselves. And they think they're going to get away with it. I don't think so. I would ask, if you're out there and you want to do some big game hunting, just don't tell the rest of us about it. Just go do it. You know what to do. You know they're trash. You know what they're guilty of. I mean, they deserve not to die just once. That's all we can take is the one life they have. But some of them have killed a lot of people. Fauci, how many people has he killed? Macron, how many people has Macron killed? I hate to say it, but how many people has Trump killed? Not so many, but still. And when it comes to Biden, He's killed a lot of people, and he set the country up to take it right down to the streets of hell. They are probably going to pull the plug on us once they get the guns distributed to their guests. They have 6 different nations' armies inside of our borders. They're going to arm them all up and probably pull the plug on the rest of us so there's no electricity, and see how we do in that situation. And of course, our guests won't be able to leave. They're going to be shooting their way from one end to the other end of the country. And I go to the range and I see the old guys that are there, and I'm just like, wow, it's nice that they're here. And I see a few young people there. You can see some young girls there. But we aren't ready for it. There's no such thing as being ready for that. They want to reduce us to the lowest possible common denominator of behavior. They want to reduce us not just to being ruffians, but to being absolutely, totally barbaric. The more barbaric, the more they're going to like it. For some reason, their gods love that stuff. And their gods are the gods of war. And this other weird stuff that's going around. Now, there's one thing I need to warn you about when it comes to East versus West. Some of those concepts are pretty nice, and some of the ancient languages are computer languages, binary languages. They're that old. It's the same stuff that we evolved to at this point, binary languages. Gee, have we actually made progress? This stuff that's out of India, Shiva and all that, you got to know that Shiva arrived in a space capsule. And if you go to any of these places where they got statues and monuments and stuff like that, you'll see that he's inside of a giant penis getting transported to the earth. So they're a bunch of penis worshippers, just like we're in Mesopotamia. You need to understand that that's the religion that really unifies all of them. They worship the phallic symbol. Not just the symbol, but, well, everything along those lines. Just like Simon Magnus, Simon the sorcerer, a Petar god, Petar priest from Mesopotamia. And they founded that Roman Catholic Church upon him. He was crucified. He didn't feel like he was up to the job, and he didn't feel like he was worthy, so he talked him into crucifying himself upside down. And of course, the Jesuits will tell you it's Simon Peter, the apostle, that they crucified. Simon Peter never made it into Rome. He got to the outskirts somewhere, the closest he ever got. There were 2 different Simon Peters, a Peter and a Petar. One was Magnus, maggot, the gall of bitterness, and the other one was the saint. Yeah, that's how they managed to screw us up and give us that crap in the Bible. I'm sorry, but they preached that stuff. They put that stuff in there to trap us. They put traps in there all the way throughout it. I'm not real happy about that. But for some reason, the truth still gets through if you read it. And you've got the Spirit with you. It comes through. And I know, you and I are going to disagree. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been walking around singing the song and I can't get it out of my head. It's bothering the heck out of me. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. I mean, I can't get it out of my head. And it's like, look, I don't want to celebrate the blood. I want to celebrate new life. I want to celebrate rebirth. I want to celebrate rising from the dead. I don't want to celebrate some agonizing, torturous, horrible death. But here I am. This song creeps through my mind, creepy as can be. I can barely tune my guitar up. My relative pitch is just shot. So I guess I'm going to have to... I was looking at guitar lessons on Facebook. And for some reason, Facebook must have been reading my mind. It gave me all kinds of guitar lessons available, including worship. So I think I'm going to have to focus on singing, which is not my forte. And I don't even know if I can sing in pitch. I've always had these problems since I had mastoiditis as a child. I was supposed to go deaf, stone deaf, by the time I was 12, and I'm way the hell over 12 years of age, so it's hard to complain, except this hearing I have is so creepy. The earth under me is loud and annoying. It crunches like it does when I'm walking in the wintertime in the snow at home in Alaska. Just a loud crunch. You can't hear yourself think over that. It's that loud. Yet, around 500 hertz, A440 with the fork in my hands, I can feel it vibrating, and I can't hear the fundamental. I hear the freaking overtones. Makes no sense at all. So I can tune the guitar up relative to itself, but it's either going to be in a higher pitch or a lower pitch. I had a pretty highly developed sense of relative pitch at one time. Well, I gave up music for a long time because I couldn't get along with everybody else. They weren't happy with me because I wouldn't do their dope with them, and they didn't think that. They made them feel very, very uncomfortable. Have somebody around there that wasn't indulging them. It's free, man. Use it. You enjoy yourself. I'm fine. You know, I mean, I couldn't tune my guitar up if I was smoking that bullshit. And the other stuff they were using, I just wouldn't do it. And that wasn't tolerable. At least when I was at Berklee College of Music, my buddy there, Stevie, he never touched drugs in his entire life. And I'm, of course, going, man, that's kind of hard to believe. Long hair, too. He's never touched it. It was true. I met his entire family, gawky as they were. Remember his sister a little bit. Remember his parents. Yeah, they come up, I think, from New York up there to Berklee College of Music in Boston. And my hair was longer than not everybody else's. It was down on my waist. I quit because I was allergic to it. I was allergic to it. We're riding on the buses and these guys would light up, right? Smoke billowing everywhere. And the problem was I'd have an allergic reaction. My throat and tongue would swell up and I couldn't breathe. And then they would just freak their asses out. I'd tell them, don't smoke that shit here. And the old lady's eyes would get real big. What are they doing? They're smoking. Oh, my Lord. And the guy who's lit it up and saying, man, cut it out, man. You know you smoke. You know, and all that stuff. And it's like, no, man, I stopped and I got allergic to it. And I'm being serious. I can't breathe. And, you know, I'm stuck on this crowded bus with your dumb ass. And you're going to smoke right here. And you don't even give a shit. You don't think about other people. So I busted their ass in front of the little old ladies. And I guess it gave a few of them thrills. Because, like, oh, my God, they're smoking pot on the bus with us. I could just imagine what they told their friends later. And I can imagine when some of those guys were telling their friends later too, hey man, we were on the bus with the longest haired freak we'd ever seen in our lives. We lit up and he busted us and bragged. He ratted us out to the old ladies there. Oh man, I didn't get smoked my usual stiff spliff, whatever the hell it was, my usual blunt on the way home. Man, it just wrecked my day. I was looking to that so much, so close. It was rush hour. I'd worked all day and I deserved this. I couldn't smoke all day, and here I am on the way home in rush hour, and this little white son of a bitch with long ass hair complains. Yeah. I'm not allergic anymore, folks, but I still ain't smoking it. I don't really care to be around people that are smoking it. I don't really give a damn. My attitude now is pretty neutral. Serious things Saib said, don't even spit on it. Don't do so much as to spit on it, which meant don't give it any time, any attention. Don't condemn it, just don't leave it alone. It turns out that there's some substances in there that actually we need part of our natural diet. We've got plenty of those cannabinoid receptors in us. And of course the evil ones had to take that food source away from us. because they couldn't have us being healthy. And you're still living in a time where they won't give you proper nutrients in your food. They deprive you of those things all of the time. And they put the poisons in there. It is a coordinated effort by those on the high ends of society. They've been doing this stuff to people for decades, centuries, millennia, to ride upon the rest of us. They are ugly, evil people. Actually, they're not even people. That's right. Don't call me a racist. I told you, they aren't people. You know, blacks are people. Whites are people. Latinos are people. But these bastards aren't even human. They look like they are, but they ain't human. Their DNA is real screwed up. And almost everybody in the elite and almost every president you've had have been related to the damn dragon seed, the demon seed, the lizard people, the satanic race, fallen angels. I know, you don't believe me. That's okay. Don't believe me. I just hope that the Bible's right. You'll hear rumors of war. I hope they're just rumors that we're hearing. We're hearing an awful lot of rumors. I hope that's all it is scare tactics. But they got us all on edge. And they will pull the plug on us. They will do an EMP blast over us. They will. Don't kid yourselves. Anything they can get away with right now, they will do. But so many people have woken up to them that they ain't going to be able to pull it off very well. They may kill most of us in the process, though, but I think we'll get to them eventually. And I do know this, that the minor prophet says very clearly that all the nations are going to descend upon Jerusalem. That's right, baby. Everybody's going to send their armies and their troops on Jerusalem. Why would we do that? I mean, those people couldn't hurt a fly. I mean, they would never hurt anybody. They wouldn't genocide anybody. They would never kill a president. They wouldn't kill that Iranian guy that they just killed. They wouldn't kill Kennedy like they killed him. They wouldn't have set Gaddafi up to get his ass murdered. They wouldn't have had Saddam Hussein's head pop off. They would never do any of that. They're such nice people. We owe them everything. They gave them our ethics and our laws. Bull. They didn't give you any of that. It's the newest religion on the face of the earth. And they got you all hoodwinked. And for me to convince you that you've been taken advantage of is impossible. I'm not going to try. I'm just going to tell you this. They beat us. They beat us badly. They took this country over. We are not the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave. We are the land of the fee, home of the slave, and we're all bond servants, and they own us all. They own the money. They own everything. They got title to every bit of it. Legal title. United States, 4 different corporations. Giant shell game. All incorporated underneath the crown, the king of Great Britain, which is incorporated underneath, well, the Holy See, the Pope, the Roman Catholic Church with their canon law. And the 3 giant frauds they pulled off on humanity, giving them that 3-level crown. Each level of that beehive crown that the popes wear is another level of the frauds that they pulled off, stealing us from ourselves. They are evil mofos. They are. And I mean, if you ever go to the Vatican, make sure you go to the Pope's new building where he entertains his guests. Then you'll see who it is they worship and what they're about as you go inside the serpent. And you look, and there at the throne, in the mouth of the giant mouth of the giant serpent at the stage, there's Il Papa. There's your Pope. Yeah, the serpent was the slyest critter in the garden. And I know you don't want to hear me because you want Jesus to wash away all of your sins so you can do whatever the fuck you want because He's going to pay for it in His blood. You evil people who re-crucify Him. Oh yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I hear they do in Mass. They call Him down and crucify His ass all over again. Now, was that very kind? I haven't been there. I just hear about this stuff. But it's pretty twisted, if you ask me. I went into the belly of several beasts in this lifetime of mine. I worked in the penitentiaries. Damn beasts, for sure. Worked in some of the state governments. Those are beasts as well. And I hung out in various denominations and churches. They're all the traditions of men. Ain't one of them after the Bible. You really want to follow the way, you don't go to church on Sundays. You sit on your ass and you read your Bible. And then you might call up your fellow believers and get together with a handful of your brothers and sisters and talk and brainstorm and very respectfully entertain. Hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? What did you find? What's that line up with? Because there the Spirit is gathered, baby. I call that a high time. That to me is getting loaded today. That's my dope. Karl Marx is right. Religion's the dope of the people. It's my drugs. The Holy Spirit. Now that's something to get high on. It's also something to put you through the ringer on too, so don't go playing with it. Yes, I've been deep into the beast system. I went into La La Land several times, and I went into zones that I don't want to go back to, and I've forgotten most of it, thank God. Even my mentor Glade told me, Johnson, that stuff's best forgotten. Hell, I could remember so much of it. It was just so, I wish I'd have written it down. But at my first time out there, the sons of a bitches told me about the parasites and the parasitic infections they've been doing to the rest of us. I couldn't connect the dots enough back then. But I got the message. It's the worms. We even treat our dogs for worms. We don't get treated for worms, do we? And then I had to experience another one of their pestilences. You know, those guys that work with metals and do metallurgy, those guys weren't exactly off the good line. Tubal Cain. There's something about that being a password or something for the Masons. I don't know. I just don't care. It's their business, not mine. Or is it their business and their business alone? When you're putting the powdered metals in the sky and in the water and in the food, and you're poisoning my ass, I'm sorry. That's attempted murder. Yeah, I caught you. I know what you did. General Mills did it. Yeah. They do it to all of us, so don't feel special, John, just because it happened to you and just because you happen to catch it. I was slow, I was retarded, I should have caught it sooner. I stumbled into how to take care of it. It costs a little bit of money. I wish I had a little bit more money. Hint, send me money. Buy my Bible is what I want you to do. Pray for me. Yahweh will open up the floodgates of wealth to me. No problem. I want to carry out my rig. I want to buy one more fine automobile, and I want a really good one. And a trailer to carry it around in, and I got to be able to afford this stupid insurance. which is going up. I do my best to keep claims down, but you can't avoid it as the society deteriorates. And I'm worried that the insurance companies at some point won't even be in business. I don't want them raping my ass over the coals and taking too much, but there's nothing wrong with them making a living. It's being able to support themselves and their families. Honestly, I rather applaud it and I embrace it. I think it's a necessity. I mean, if the guy that's working with me isn't able to make a living, then, it's not a good deal. I want him to be able to stay in business. I want him to be able to afford to stay in business. You should want the same thing. We need to want fairness for everybody, not just for ourselves. The fight between good and evil is just not in between the covers of a book and staying in between the covers of a book. No, it's not. It's playing out in our very lives. And this happens to all of us, but most of us don't realize it. A lot of people can't read. A lot of people can't afford a Bible. A lot of people don't have the time to read. Oh, I got lucky. My ass got sidelined by a couple of strokes. I ended up sitting on my ass reading the Bible. That's how I recovered. It took 18 months before I started to recover, but I got it from reading and rereading the Bible. No, I'm nowhere near as strong as I once was. I probably will never be that strong again. I had so much capacity and I had no idea. And I feel like I didn't get to use it very thoroughly or fully. At least now, with what capacity I have left, I'm using it pretty good. I want you to understand, we're living at a time in which there's nothing but systems of frauds. The professions are turned against the laity. The medical profession are genociding us all the time. Yes, they get paid to do that. The hospitals get rewarded by our government really well. Get paid big bucks to do that. They don't get the big bucks if they don't do what the government wants them to do. You got the beast system, all right, and you're right in it. Yeah. And we've seen the fulfillment of the prophecies of Jeremiah. Yeah, we have. Most people don't realize it, but Jeremiah points it out in there. When he goes down to Egypt, when the captains takes him to Egypt against his will, he tells them, I don't want to go. Yahweh says we're going to die there. Somehow or other, he got loose. Him and the crown princesses. And they left and they returned to Jerusalem. And he mentions the stones, the rocks, and the importance of those rocks that were in Egypt. They weren't in Jerusalem, they were in Egypt. He says he's got to take these stones. Why? There's a special thing that has to happen on the stone. The king of Babylon has to be coronated on it. What the hell is wrong with Jeremiah? Do you have a screw loose? I mean, seriously, Jeremiah, you want to coronate the king of Babylon? Was that the pillow stone? You want to take Jacob's pillow stone and you're gonna coronate the king of Babylon on it? Lorraine, leave me alone. Lay down. Down. Yes, I know you're hungry. I'm sorry. Lay down. I'll feed you soon. I know where to lay. Down. Yeah. Down. No, down. Come on, sweetie. No. What did I say? She's a pushy bitch. She's insisting she's going to get pet. Stay. Good down. That's right. Jeremiah's old prophecy. And I got news for you. I got to see the king of Babylon getting coronated on the pillar stone. How do I know that that's the king of Babylon? Well, the gentleman or the beast or whatever the hell he is, the snake person, the viper person, the not human person, his symbol was a dragon. Not just any dragon. A red dragon is his symbol. Yeah, folks. King Charles II is the king of Babylon. Babylon's been screwing with the rest of us for a long time, especially the United States of America. And by God, if the Chinese ever said, hey, Mr. President, and I'm in office, and he says, we're gonna nuke Babylon. We're gonna nuke the king of Babylon. We're gonna nuke Great Britain. What they did to us in the opioid wars, the first war and the second war, we're gonna make up for that shit now. We're tired of it. Look at what they've done to the country. And then, Xi Jinping or whoever the hell's in charge over there in China says, look at what they did to your country too. Would you join us and nuke them as well? I wouldn't join them. But I would say, have at it. We're tired of them too. Cauterize them off the face of the earth. We don't need no frickin' snake people anymore. We don't need those snakes withering around. We don't want to risk the harm that they've done happening again. I know you think it's the royal family. It ain't. They swapped things around a long time ago. There's been demon spawn occupying that doggone throne for a long time. I know. I had some distant cousins that were produced by that throne. They never let us go free. They have run our CIA the entire time, still run that. They dictate through their central banks. Oh, and above all, their Bar Association attorneys who rule in place of their regency, the king. Those bastards. They've done so much harm to this country. I don't know what to tell you. Several things crossed my mind, a few different ways to go. The path in this little monologue of mine. It's worse than what you think. These beings are from an entirely different species, and they interbreed with us rather readily, and they love spreading their satanic DNA around. I know, you say it's just figurative. It's just spiritual. No, it's not. It's really literal. So we might as well talk about the stuff you do not want to talk about. What is it you don't want to talk about? Well, if you're a woman, the last thing you want to hear is how Eve did the original sin. Now, if you go back and listen to my videos, you'll see I actually put the blame where it belongs. Genesis 6:2, sons of God and the fallen angels. That's where the blame belongs. Those are the ones that conspired to do that shit to the rest of us. Yes, Eve screwed up. She was deceived. The woman was deceived. The man was not. So you want to say Adam's more to blame than Eve? I'm tired of it. It's the same crap going on today that went on in the garden. Cuckolding. 1/3 of all the births in this country right now, the woman puts down on there the father, and he ain't the father. 1/3 of those are cuckold births. And she can get away with it and it's okay, because the state doesn't want the burden. They want to put it off on the man. And most men are too dumb, thinking, lovey-dovey, I'll take care of you. Oh, this is wonderful, my child. Hell no, it's not your child. It's not your child. And you're going to be paying for it for a couple decades now. Centuries, I was going to say. Decades. Now, how fair is that? That's not fair at all. Women want to be equal. Well, fine. Then let's give them the same sentences. Let's give them the same accountability, the same responsibility. Now, I think that parental fraud should be a felony with a required prison sentence. And I think every baby should have DNA testing, genetic testing, so we know what we're dealing with. Because we have to go after the snake people. That's right. That's not why I was thinking when I started this thing. I wasn't talking about, genociding, these babies in the womb because they got fallen angel DNA in them. But what I'm telling you is that for it to be a fair world, a man has to know whether or not they're his children. And if they aren't his children, then he should be able to kick her to the curb. The state be damned. Even if there is a marriage license. In these states that have made it illegal to do paternity testing unless ordered by a judge, that's dictatorship. That ain't no freedom. Nope. I'd say do not take out a state marriage license. Write your own contract. And put in there that upon disloyalty, infidelity, the party that's unfaithful gets nothing. They walk. They don't even get possession of the children. They don't even get custody of the children. They walk from it all. That's called at-fault divorce. And we need to have it. As it is, everything's all screwed up. No. Everything is all screwed up. It's screwed up pretty badly, too. So, as it says in the Bible, you can't even trust the one you sleep with. She'll stab you in the back. Well, she can kill you and get away with it. What happened to me this last month proves it. The police don't give a damn. I'm not happy about that. She could have killed me. She came pretty close. My hearing is all screwed up. Did she do that to me? Sure lines up with it, but I don't know. Or is it the cumulative stress of everything? With these people that have lied to the court to weasel their way into the court. Yeah, they've lied all the way in there, and they're still lying. They're going to lie all the way through. And the sad thing is I can't even hear them to participate in the doggone hearing. And I don't know any damn sign language. I sure as hell am not going to learn it in time to be able to do a court case. They messed with the wrong guy. Like that woman a month ago. Messed with the wrong guy. Yeah. I don't need the fights. I don't need the stress. I'm getting older. My time is what matters to me. I don't need this type of stuff. But they don't care. They don't care about abusing the elderly. They don't care about putting my life at risk. Just so she could steal a gun for her father? Granted, she got a really nice piece. Beautiful suppressor, wonderful setup, double-tuned. The guy I became good friends with him, and he worked on that thing. That was a very nice sidearm. And to date, she won't tell me what she did to me. And won't give me the information so that I can give it to my doctor so they can help treat my hearing a little bit better. I think they should charge her with attempted murder, but right now, they're not going to charge her with anything except the simple theft of a hard drive. Actually, they arrested her for it. I bet they don't charge her for it. I got to find out if a particular reporter is still working over at the Arizona Republic. Because I'm going to send him a packet of all this information, and he's going to have fun with it. Now, my hope and my prayer is that he picks up the ball and runs with it And the purpose of that is to stop the violence. Notice I didn't say stop the violence against women and children. I didn't say stop the violence against men. I said stop the violence. It's a systemic approach. So we need to stop the violence where we can. And this culture loves to be violent against men. It's okay. I don't think it's okay. I think when we cut back on the violence against men a little bit, in the words of the famous philosopher Rodney King, can't we all just get along? I don't know about you, but that was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever heard a human being say. And Rodney was pleading with people. He didn't want to be the center of attention. He wanted to be left alone so he could live his life. And he lived a very short life. And he would have rather we just got along than they made him an instant millionaire. And he was dead within a year or two. I'm sure Rodney would prefer to be alive today than to have had a spending spree of $1 million freaking dollars. We need to take care of the trash. That includes the Israeli lobby. That is Edom. They killed your presidents. They kill us left and right. They did the Twin Towers. They did the USS Liberty. They did JFK. Anybody that got in their way, they killed. That's right. And we let them get away with it. The LBJ ought to be dug up and tried. First high treason. Convicted. And if we could bring the son of a bitch back to life again, executed. It at least needs to be written up properly in the history books. He needs to be made an object of ridicule for all time. LBJ was a bad trip, man. And Lady Bird Johnson made a lot of money off her helicopter stock. Yep, there's money to be made supplying with the tools of his trade. You see, the prophets have been coming here all the time. They were right here with us the whole time, and we missed them. They were singing to us. They were basically chiseling their message in our minds and in our hearts. And we didn't realize what they were. We didn't realize who was talking to us, who was using them. That's because your CAA and CIA were misusing those stars and doing all kinds of weird plans and programs to take this country down from inside. There are several different CIAs. They should all be rounded up. They should all be taken into isolation, protective custody. They shouldn't be allowed to talk to anybody, not even an attorney. And we need to have teams debriefing them. And the rules should be real simple. You work with us, we'll keep you around as long as you're useful. Give us good information, you're useful. Confess, you're useful. Explain in detail. Provide testimony, you're useful. Help us to create a very large record. We'll keep you around for a very long time. Cross us, though, we're going to skin you alive, man. We're going to take you out and we're going to nail you down next to some damn anthill in the desert. Put some honey on your body and just leave you there, man. No, we're not going to do anything like that, but that's how angry I am. I need you to pray for me so I can keep my head on straight and keep my emotions level. I've had too many stresses, strains on me. I've just been through too much. I've had enough for several lifetimes. I don't need to come back here and do anything again all over and all. Oh no, baby. This is for keeps. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my mission as best I can. And I'm not very good at it. I'm not enough. I am not adequate. So, I don't have any particular message for you. Isn't it nice not to have that burden? I think it is. I used to pray for an inmate before he walked into my office that Yahweh would show me, tell me what he, Yahweh, needed this fellow, this poor soul to hear right now. Yahweh used to blew my ass out of the water. The inmate was a little shook up too. But I learned how to work really fast and really well, and I was extremely effective. I had to hone my craft on the fly. Sometimes I had 5 minutes. 5 minutes was it. That was it. If I could do it that quickly, I did it. Usually I did it in one session. I know, it's like impossible, right? I don't even have a full intake or anything, right? Don't need that. Holy Spirit's right there, man, doing it. And then these guys, a few weeks later, would submit a health needs request. Money out of their own bank. And they know I'm going to take the money out of their bank. It's required for the job, so I'm going to collect the whopping $3. But they want to see me. In comes a man, and I got the chart. I opened the chart up, and I look at the chart because I put in key words in there so I could remember where he was, what I did, and what was going on. And I had to have those key words to cue me up. And I would look at the chart, and I would look at this man. I would look at the chart again, and I would look at the man, and they just sit there, smug. Yeah. And many times I had to tell them, look, I don't know what you did. Because in the books they tell me you're not supposed to be able to change. But you've done something here. Whatever you did, you keep doing it because you've improved from what was going on before. You have changed it completely. And of course, I didn't take any credit for it. I was just a witness to it. And usually the inmate was very happy to hear that they had actually done something and the locus of control was in themselves. They didn't have to give it to a higher power because most of them didn't recognize a higher power. If they did, I'd work with them on that. But most of them understood the risk, reward, the benefit, and all that, and we worked on them pausing, stepping back from a situation that was potentially explosive, or taking another step back if it was really that bad, and then asking themselves, what's in my best interest? What's really in my best interest? Very rational, logical question. Do I want to blow up on this guy and kill him? Or just rip his arms off? You know, what do I want to do? And these inmates that were so dangerous otherwise became a lot safer. Not just for society, but for themselves too. It benefited everybody. I didn't send them out with an errant diagnosis so they could get a check. No, if you needed treatment, and if that's what you needed, I made sure you had the right stuff there as best I could, because I didn't want you on medicines that compromised you. I wanted you as intact as possible so you could make the best decision. And I had to clean up after the master's level people so much. They wouldn't listen to me. I was supposed to have authority over them. They had it ass backwards there. We produced a lot of inmates that were far more dangerous when we let them out than what they needed to be or were when they came in. And I felt my job was to produce the safest product possible. I tried to run the programs. I made proposals. They wouldn't do it. They decided to steal my plan for me. And they did. They didn't tell me they were doing it in the other yards. And the next thing I know is that I got, hell, what is his name? Frank's calling me in, you know, because I worked with Frank. I mean, Frank was pill counter, whatever you want to call him, pharmacist. And we were working on these classes of drugs that were being wasted, a couple $1 million a year, you know, being tossed out. And he says, John, he says, you're not going to believe this. You got to come in here. Okay. I went in. John, they implemented your program. I said, oh? He says, yeah. And they didn't tell you about it. I said, yeah. He said, and they have blown the budget wide open. They're wasting $6 or $7 million a year now. And I just sat back there. And he was right, because those dumbasses, always borrowing from Dr. Kent and my wonderful ideas, not giving me enough credit, not letting me do the work that I wanted to do. I mean, hell, I'd have run the whole thing for them. I'd have given it to them. I didn't care about that. Sure, I would have liked a few shekels more or a letter acknowledging things. That would have been fine. You know, the money wasn't what I was after. I wanted to do a good job. I accepted the low pay. That's fine. That doesn't mean you're going to get low work out of me. And those bastards had me working overtime, trying not to give me the overtime I had earned, while my colleagues had left early and defrauded the whole system of their time, their wages. Bunch of liars and thieves, goddamn libtards. Anyway. Yeah. The liberals think they know better, and they do not. They never will. Their philosophy won't allow them to go there. It negates the possibility completely. I did what I could do, and they ran my ass off and set me up. False charges. And they fired me. But the horrible thing was, about the time they fired me is when my health crapped out because of their stuff. I had had a few strokes. Nobody could tell. Not the attorneys I was working with, not the psychologist I worked with, none of my physicians. Nobody could tell. We didn't find out for a long time. But I thought that I could withstand the stress. I couldn't. I definitely blew a gasket or two. Oh yeah, I lost a lot of ability. Why? Because liberals and feminists have to dominate everything. And liberalism and feminism destroy things. I'm sorry, ladies, but you destroyed this civilization. Down. What did I say? You destroy your own houses. Men build. You don't love. Men love. Men give. Women take. They don't give. Sorry, that's just the way it is. They give us a rough time. I'm out in the desert and I hear some cantankerous woman arguing with a guy. I see a guy on a bike, you know, and I'm not hearing very good, so, I mean, but this woman wouldn't give up on him. And I'm thinking, why are they even together? If I was him, I would throw her ass to the curb. I'd let her go. If she's not going to give him respect, I wouldn't give her the time of day. Which is the way it is now. As long as I can do it till I get into the weakness again, the woman decides she's going to take advantage of that. They all do. They want to dominate. Yeah, they want to be king. They want to be queen. They want to be worshipped. They want to dictate the bullshit that you're going to do. And what did they do? Destroy their homes, destroy civilization, destroy society. Even the Muslims understand that better, hands down. And there's a kind of a weird culture, but you'd have to hang around with them for a little bit to realize that they've got things going better. They understand the genders better than we do. And they ain't that unkind and brutal and brusque and all that. America's been destroyed from within by the females. That's all there is to it. You wanted the right to vote. We men don't. Never got the right to vote. Never had it. We still don't have the right to vote. There is no right to vote. You dumbasses were used by the devils once again. It was a state's issue. And when they federalized it, they empowered the federal government, and as a direct result, they gave us organized crime. They gave us the criminals running the booze around, because women had to not allow men to drink anything. You know, the temperance movement. You ain't got to touch that demon alcohol. They gave rise to organized crime, and then rise to ultra organized crime. Your FBI, who poisoned the alcohol to kill your ass. Oh, our government would never do that. Oh, hell yes, they did that. And you got your damn ADL and your Federal Reserve System in the same year. And Susan B. Anthony looked like she was a very, very evil, wicked witch. She looks kind of like the ultimate early transgendered person. She does not look happy. She looks like she was born with a bitter pill in her mouth, and it never, ever left it. She never got anything sweet in her life. She was a real sourpuss. But, you know, they made a hero out of her. Your 19th Amendment goes by the wayside. I'm going to tell you right now, once we start fighting, we ain't going to stop for a long time. And when the smoke clears, I'm hoping to God that people demand to know what happened and what we can do about it. And I'm hoping to God I can survive this. Because somebody's got to tell the young folk what happened. And more importantly, somebody's got to tell them how easy it is to fix it. Our founders were such geniuses. They gave us the right structure. We buggered it up. We repeal all of the amendments to the original 13th Amendment. And all of the case law built on those other amendments that are illegal, unlawful, go by the wayside. Yeah, I know, it's major surgery, right? You want a republic? We can get it. You want a Lincolnian republic? I'm sorry, that's no republic at all. By the way, he really should have been called Abraham Rothschild. Yeah, you heard that right. Your first Jewish president. He also had some black blood in him, so he's your first African American president. And he also was Native American, so he's your first Native American president. I know you Indians out there have been clamoring because you want one. Well, you had one, Abraham Lincoln. Suck it up and accept it. The man, with his radical Republicans, destroyed the Republic. And there the king of Babylon and the queen of Babylon are always in the background ruling things very quietly, dividing and conquering the world everywhere with their evil, wicked stuff through their secret societies. Yeah, I know you're going to say, how the hell does this guy know this stuff? Whose side is he really on? I mean, he must be one of them to know this stuff. No, I'm actually a little bit on the retarded side. I'm slow. It took me a long time to put these pieces together. And I had the pieces of the puzzle for decades, including the pieces to my own health. I had that for at least 2 decades before I finally figured out what the hell they did to me and to you and to your children. They do this stuff on purpose. So yeah, I'm pissed. Please pray for my protection. Pray that my hearing is restored. Please pray that I do Yahweh's will. That I stay on task and get the missions going. Because I don't know which way, I don't know where this is leading me. I really don't. I'm really curious. I just hope that, well, I don't really care too much about the ending. I want to go clean, if possible. You started life dirty. I'd like to go clean. I don't want to be wired up. I'd like to die with as many of my original parts as possible. I don't want them running their damn experiments on me. I want to put on a little bit more muscle and build my strength again. I'd like to grow my hair long again, but can't have everything. I miss having hair and color in my hair. But, oh well. I'll take my place with the old men. I just want to be chiseled as a son of a bitch. I remember a few years ago I took my shirt off and my date was like, oh my God. It sure was nice to hear that. I had built my physique up, I busted my ass. I was in pretty good shape. I ain't no big hockey player. Denise loved the hockey players. She liked those. Man, she liked men built like damn refrigerators, just thick as could be. I hope she's doing well. I appreciate her talents and her understanding of the muscles that were problematic for me. She really knew her stuff. And it was painful. And she said, John, I know this hurts, but it's really good for you. Oh, God, did it hurt. She was going after some muscles that if she hadn't have done that stuff, I now realize I would not be alive today. So, yeah, I miss her touch. She's a tall chick, and she was good at it. She was one of the few people that could actually get in there and help me. Then I had a little petite thing who was in graduate school as a physical therapist, and her hands were so small she could apply pressure between my vertebrae like nobody else could. She helped me to straighten up the vertebrae behind my heart. Oh, that felt so good. My ribs were floating freely a little bit anyway, a little bit freer. I couldn't even open my rib cage up like you normal people can. It was locked. I wasn't even breathing into this upper quadrant of it was collapsed from age 7 till about age 53. So I wasn't even running on full oxygen. My God, if I'd have had full oxygen, how much brighter I would have been. How much stronger. If my frame was in better shape, I could have really built some strength. As it was, I did pretty good. I was doing these sets in my 50s, and these other old guys were watching me do this stuff, saying, what is that, SEAL team exercise? No, it wasn't. We knew what the SEAL team exercise was. It was kind of close, but it was really abbreviated compared to what those guys go through. I know. I had the SEAL team exercise. I gave it to my physical therapist. He went and did it. Man, cool. Jeff went and did that stuff. He told me he went through the whole damn thing where they varied the push-ups and the sit-ups over time, and he said it was brutal, and he said it was just intense, man. He was strong. I love my nation, my country, but I'm not sure what my country is anymore. Look at this place. This is not the land I grew up in. Thank God I got to grow up then. I try to explain it to people, and it's like, what the hell are you talking about, man? Sounds pretty weird. Nobody does that. Oh man, we had so much freedom as children. We were at so much risk, and every adult had authority over us everywhere. Our parents weren't protecting their little bastards like they do today. Look, I'm tired of the school system. I'm tired of the school zones. I'm tired of the buses. I don't want to pay for any of that shit. It's all undermining stuff. I did my time as a child, and I feel for those children because what they go through is even worse than what I went through. It's nothing but an industrial prison, getting them ready for the real prison when they become of age. May Yahweh bless. If you've hung out with me this long, this ain't morning, this is afternoon. And I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to leave the best record I can so that those after me can maybe mine it for some data. I know I tell you some things that I don't even realize at the time. I'm like on autopilot. I mean, I hand myself over to that spirit. And I also know this. I can't hide anything. I'm out here. There's people out there that read my ass really good. They'll watch this video and they'll be writing their notes down. They'll be figuring out, oh, this is what he's thinking about. This is what's going on. Oh, he just checked himself. He's thinking about this shit. Yeah, they can damn near read your mind. They can decode you. Signals warfare, baby. Yeah, that's what you're going through is signals warfare. Don't get your signals crossed. Mind your P's and Q's. Oh, I gotta go brush my teeth and I'm gonna enjoy it. I kept putting it off to do other things. May Yahweh bless.